The Delegation of Najran, in the 9th year of Hijra, a historic event took place in the city of Medina. A delegation of 60 Christian leaders from Najran arrived to meet the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They came to debate, but they witnessed supreme kindness instead. When it was time for their prayer, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did something incredible. He allowed them to pray according to their own faith, right inside the holy Masjid-e-Nabawi. He protected their rights, honored their priests, and signed a treaty of peace with them. This story, known as Wafad Najran, is a timeless lesson in tolerance and the true beauty of Islam. The letter and the stir in Najran. It began with a letter. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sent a messenger to the Grand Bishop of Najran, Abu Haritha. The letter was an invitation to Islam. I invite you to the worship of Allah, leaving the worship of slaves, humans/idols. Najran was a city of palaces, rich valleys, and grand cathedrals. The bishop, Abu Haritha, was a man of immense knowledge and was honored by the Roman emperors, who funded his churches. Upon reading the letter, he was visibly shaken. The secret confession. There is a historical narration that while the delegation was preparing to leave, the bishop's brother, Kurz ibn Alqama, was riding beside him. Kurz's mule stumbled. And in anger, Kurz cursed the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The bishop immediately stopped him and said, "Do not curse him. By God, he is the very prophet we have been waiting for, mentioned in our books." Kurz asked, "Then why don't you accept him?" The bishop replied sadly, "The Romans have given us wealth, honor, and status. If we accept him, they will take it all away." This sets the stage. They knew the truth but were bound by worldly power. The grand entrance. The lesson in humility. The delegation of 60 leaders arrived in Medina. They wanted to prove that their civilization was superior. They dressed in long robes of silk, gold rings on their fingers, and large golden crosses around their necks. They entered the Masjid-e-Nabawi directly. When they greeted the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he looked at their extravagant display of arrogance, forbidden for men in Islam, and silently turned his face away. He did not return their greeting. Distressed, they went to Uthman, R.A., and Ali, R.A. Ali, R.A., advised them, "Leave your golden ornaments and silk robes. Dress like humble travelers, then go to him." When they returned in simple clothes, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, smiled, shook their hands, and said, "By the one in whose hand is my life, when you first came, the angels were not with you, the sanctuary of tolerance." This is the most defining moment of interfaith history. While they were sitting in the mosque, the time for their evening prayer arrived. The delegation stood up, faced east, and began to chant their prayers. The atmosphere in the mosque became tense. The Sahaba, companions, felt protective of the masjid's sanctity. Some moved to stop them. But the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, raised his hand and commanded, "Diyum, leave them alone." A hush fell over the mosque. In the house of Allah, built by Muslims, the Christians prayed freely according to their rites. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, watched them with respect, teaching the world that distinct faiths can coexist under one roof without violence. The debate of logic and light. For the next few days, a theological dialogue took place. The bishop asked, "What do you say about Jesus? Is he not the Son of God?" The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, spoke gently, reciting the Quran. He argued that God is one, unseen, and eternal, while Jesus ate food, walked in markets, and was born of a mother. They argued, but he was born without a father. That makes him divine. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, then recited the revelation, Surah Al-Imran, 359, "Verily, the likeness of Jesus before Allah is the likeness of Adam. He created him from dust, then said to him, Be. And he was." The logic was irrefutable. Adam, A.S., had no father and no mother, yet he was human. Jesus, A.S., had a mother. So, creating Jesus was easier for Allah than creating Adam. The event of Mubahala, the peak of truth. When the delegation refused to accept the logic due to their stubbornness, Allah ordered the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, to challenge them to Mubahala, a spiritual invocation where both sides call for God's judgment/curse upon the liars. The next morning, the scene was breathtaking. The Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him emerged not with an army, but with his family. He carried Hussein, R.A., in his arms. He held Hassan, R.A., by the hand. Fatima, R.A., walked behind him. Ali, R.A., walked behind her. He gathered them under a cloak, Kisa, and said, O Allah, these are my family, al-Bayt. He told them, when I pray, say Ameen. The withdrawal, the Grand Bishop, Abu Haritha, saw this radiant group. He turned pale and whispered to his people, O people of Najran, do not invoke the curse. I see faces of such light that if they asked God to uproot a mountain, he would do it. If we challenge them, we will be destroyed, and Christianity will be wiped from the Arabs. They formally withdrew from the challenge and asked for peace. The Great Treaty, a charter of human rights, the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him showed no anger. He granted them a written treaty that guaranteed their rights forever. This document is a treasure of Islamic ethics. The Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him dictated, total protection. The people of Najran and their surrounding areas are under the protection of Allah and His Prophet, religious autonomy, their churches shall not be destroyed. Their crosses shall not be broken, job security, no bishop shall be removed from his post, nor any monk from his monastery, no collective punishment, they will not be held accountable for the crimes of others, no unjust revenge, condition, they must not practice usury, interest/riba, the trustworthy one. As they prepared to leave, impressed by the justice of Islam, they said, we have disputes over money among us. Send a man with us to judge. For we trust your judgment more than our own. The Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him announced, I will send with you a man who is truly trustworthy. The Sahaba were eager. Even Umar, R.A., later said, I never desired leadership except on that day, hoping to be called the trustworthy. The Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him scanned the crowd and called out, stand up, O Abu Ubaidah. He held the hand of Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, R.A., and said, every nation has a trustworthy keeper, Amin, and the Amin of this ummah is Abu Ubaidah. This historic event of Wafd Najran is not just a story from the past, it is a shining testimony to the unparalleled greatness, the sublime character, and the boundless mercy of the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him. It teaches us that his message was never about force or compulsion, but about winning hearts through patience, justice, and supreme morality. When he had the power to dictate terms, he chose to be a protector rather than a conqueror, granting the Christians of Najran a treaty that safeguarded their lives, their property, and even their churches. This incident proves that he is truly Rahmatul lil Alameen, a mercy not just for Muslims, but for all of creation. Even his greatest critics at that time admitted that his face radiated such truth and purity that it could not belong to a liar. He showed the world that true leadership is serving humanity and that differences in faith should never prevent us from being kind, just, and welcoming. He established the golden principles of human rights and religious freedom centuries before the modern world even understood them. Today, the greatest way we can honor his legacy is by adopting this very character, being truthful, trustworthy, and tolerant towards everyone we meet. If this story touched your heart and increased your love for the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him, please do like this video and share it to spread this beautiful message. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring Islamic history. Thank you for watching. And see you in the next video.